What up? What up? What up? What up? What's good, people? What's up? It's me, L Teddy 27. I'm back with my Angry Teacher Chronicles, and we're at another retro review. This is going to be our review for The Wire, Season 1, Episode 5. We're on Episode 5. We are taking this journey, y'all. And this episode is called The Pager. So we start off with Avon at his girl's house. And she gets this call. She answers the phone. Whoever it was just hung up on her. And so Avon at this point, he's getting ready to leave anyway, but he's real paranoid. So he's checking outside because he doesn't think it's normal for somebody to just call and not say nothing and just hang up, which is kind of true, especially back then. So he's like, you know what? Somebody might be trying to, find out where I'm at. So, of course, he's all paranoid, so forth and so on. I mean, I can't say that I blame him. When you get that high up, you do tend to be a little paranoid. After that, he leaves and he gets in the car with Weebay, and he's telling Weebay all of these things to do. One of the things that he wants him to do is get rid of the phones in her house. And Weebay is like, well, we going through all these things. Why you being so paranoid? He's like, you think there ain't people out there to get me? I got to always stay one step ahead. I mean, it's so bad to where Weebay was like, okay, here's the payphone right here. You can use this payphone. He was like, nah, I used that payphone the last time. I need to go to a different one. So he's always trying to stay a step ahead. The people around him just ain't wrapped that tightly. Okay. And then we see Omar and his crew planning out their next heist, where they're gonna, rob some drug dealers. Now these are not Avon's people, because he says you're gonna find out these motherfuckers are way less organized than Avon people, so it'll be much easier. Anyway, down to the office. We have Kima and McNulty and the judge guy and Rhonda from the state attorney's office and a whole bunch of other people at the office. They're going through all of the paperwork and all of the formalities with that they need to get this pager cloned. So everything's in order. They have all of these formalities they have to do. So they get all of that done. And then they turn on the pager. And now they've cloned this pager. Then we got Omar and his crew pulling off the heist. Now, Omar comes walking down the street. Listen, Omar is a badass. That is a badass. Omar come walking down the street in this iconic scene. Well, not iconic scene, but iconic image. Because you see it time and time again in this show. Omar walking down the street, not a care in the world. Not a fear to be had. Trench coat. Shotgun on his side, whistling. The farmer in the dell, the farmer in the dell. Hi ho the dairy-o, the farmer in the dell. And he rolls up. The guys are not paying attention. Boy on the got his walkie-talkie. Not walkie-talkie. His Walkman on, and they were like, "Oh my, come over!" And when he finally realizes it's too late. So they run into the old alley just like Omar said that they would. And the boyfriend and the guy are there waiting with their guns pointed at them. And then Omar come up behind them. And then he switches from singing to, from whistling to singing one of the verses where it goes, the mouse gets the cheese. Anyway, so he takes the boy chain and probably whatever money and drugs they had on them and so forth. Then, just a badass. He ain't scared of nobody rolling up on him. He ain't scared of nobody shooting him. Omar is not the one to be fucked with. Everybody know he coming. And when he come, everybody just get out the way. Be like, listen, Omar here, y'all go here. Y'all already know how this going down. That's power. That is power. Anyway, down to the low rises. Bodie and Poot are discussing whether or not you can get an STD from getting head. D'Angelo comes and listens to this conversation. Now, Wallace is over there on the wall where he's normally posted up, but he is fixated on this toy. Bodie sees this and gets mad. Now, Bodie's been on this trip the last episode or two where Bodie's getting more and more beside himself. Bodie's getting more and more unraveled. You know what I'm saying? So Bodie picks up a 40-ounce bottle and throws it at the wall above Wallace's head. The shards of glass cut Wallace in the forehead and everything. And so D goes over there getting ready to go off and go in on Bodie. And just as he's about to go in, he gets a page. And so forth. So, I mean, Bodie is out of control. And at this point, he's more of a danger than he is a help. Okay? And when you got situations like that, you got to sit somebody down for a little while and let them collect their thoughts and gather themselves. Meaning, he needs to be off the corner. Give him a couple weeks. Say, listen, bruh, come talk to me in 2 weeks when you get your life in order. See how you feel without some money coming in your pocket, because you're a liability at this point. Because Bodie is becoming more and more of a liability. Anyway, back down, we see that the detail got the same page that D got, but the problem is they're talking about, okay, it's encrypted, it's some code. We don't know what the fuck the code is. We can't figure this shit out. Okay? So they trying to figure out the code because they said that's not a phone number. And so they trying to figure, they can't figure it out. Keema and McNulty are out on the streets, and McNulty rose up on Keema. Keema done got Bubbles to show her where Omar is, because they find Omar's van that's been parked outside this like abandoned apartment or whatever. So she was like, your bub say that's Omar's van. They just changed the plates and shit, but that's still his van. So they doing a whole stakeout on Omar to see if they can get Omar to come out, and maybe they take Omar in for gun possession or something and get him to, you know, snitch. Clearly they don't know Omar. Stringer shows up at the low rises, and him and D are talking. And he's talking to D'Angelo about the fact that, you know, what that happened with the whole thing with the stash and with the raid, as well as with Omar them taking the stash. So he tells D, Stringer tells D, listen, me and your uncle think you got a snitch amongst you. So this is what you gonna do. This Friday, nobody getting paid. Nobody. So what'll happen is them niggas gonna get real broke real fast. And if somebody come to you and say, listen, can I get an advance on my pay for the following week because I ain't got no money, then you know they good. But if somebody ain't taking no money and don't ask you for no money, and somebody's just, you know, acting like they ain't missed a meal or acting like everything is gravy, let me know who they is, because that's the snitch. So then we see back down to the office. One of the old guys was getting ready to take a swig of alcohol because he done brought a bottle down to work. Just as he was about to do that, Prince is over there making copies. So he's looking like, oh shit, let me put it away. Goes over there. Prince is making a copy. Is making copies, I should say, of the phone. And the phone, the numbers on the phone, telephone. There clearly was an easier way to do this, because you could have easily just wrote the numbers in order like that and then just made a copy of that instead of taking a whole phone. But whatever. Anyway, I mean, make that make sense, but, you know, who am I? Anyway. So, we at the low rises again. 5-0 come through. Carver and Hurt roll up on Bodie and finally get Bodie. Because remember, Bodie ain't supposed to be out. Bodie's supposed to still be in juvie. Remember, he escaped. So Carver and Hurt done finally came back and got Bodie. They done him Bodie up, taking Bodie in. Then Bodie goes down to the police station with them. Problem is, Transpo is not ready. And they done missed Transpo, so it's going to be probably hours. Probably, I think they said the next one was at midnight. So they got to stay there with Bodie, because Bodie can't go in there with the regular inmates because Bodie's a minor. So now Carver and Hurt got to stayed up with Bodie. So they got this whole thing where they're gonna do good cop, bad cop on Bodie. Carver's supposed to be the good cop. Herc's supposed to be the bad cop. Carver giving Bodie this sob story, this, that, and the third. Oh, the guy you beat up was Herc's uncle, and he want to come here and fuck you up. And so Bodie was like, and you supposed to, because he says Carver wants off the leash. I mean, Herc wants off the leash. And Bodie was like, let me guess, you on the other side of that leash. And he was like, yeah, yeah. So they had this back and forth. Anyway, at the end of it, Carver comes, Bodie says, let me tell you something. Carver says, what? He says, suck my dick. Carver loses it and just starts beating up Bodie. Herc hears this from outside and comes in like, what the fuck? And he was like, you were supposed to be the good cop. And so he drags Carver off Bodie. And he was like, yeah, you dumb motherfucker. And once he says that, both of the ass start wailing on Bodie. Bodie been taking some ass whoopings. Let me tell you something, been taking some ass whoopings. Back down outside of there, D done found him one of his usual skanks, and he takes her out to this nice restaurant or whatever. And so it's a Friday night. And most nice restaurants, you do have to have a reservation in order to get seated. So the guy says, but I'll find a spot for you. So he found him this little small table in not so good of a spot in the restaurant, but at least you got a table. The girl says, well, you should have pressed him some more. You should have pressed him and made him give us a better table. And in my mind, I was like, why? So his ass could get thrown in jail? Because that's all they was going to do. Throw his ass. I mean, they was going to call the police. And the police was going to be like, you got to leave or go to jail. Which one you want? I mean, y'all already know how that goes. So then we see McNulty. McNulty, I forgot to mention, and his ex-wife had this conversation when he was out there on the stakeout, because the wife wants the son, well, McNulty wants the son to come over, but the wife knows McNulty ain't got no goddamn furniture in that goddamn house. He's sleeping on a goddamn air mattress or on some kind of mattress on the floor. So she was like, do you have a fucking bunk bed at least for your son, or a bed for him to sleep on with sheets, a mattress, pillows, and all of that good stuff? He was like, yeah, I got all that. He ain't had shit. So we see we see McNulty at home trying to put together this IKEA bed. Now, anyone knows, unless your major in college was nuclear physics, you and the rest of us are going, unless your major was nuclear physics, you're going to have difficulty putting together an IKEA piece of furniture. I don't care who you is. The shit was not made for us normal people. Not made for us normal people at all. I'm just saying. But he around there trying to put together the bunk bed, honey. D'Angelo is still at the restaurant with the skank. So he's talking to her all about how, you think they know. She's like, know what? He was like, they know, like, we're not from this part of the town. And he's basically said, like, when you're not from a certain area, or you're from the area they're from, you're always, it's like you're marked, and you always have this look of someone from that area. And I can't necessarily say that's true, because I come from what would be considered one of the worst areas in my hometown of Miami, Florida. And most people I meet would never dream that I grew up in the area that I grew up in. People from my area would not dream that I grew up in my area. Unless, of course, they grew up with me and we were, around each other all the time outside and stuff. But I'm just saying, so I'm not going to say that it always follows. People will always know. I mean, they'll know if you carry yourself like that, or you continue to, display those kind of characteristics. But I can't agree that you always are marked. Back down to the police station. Herc and, I keep wanting to call everybody Bodie. Herc and Carver still there with Bodie, waiting for transpo. Bodie done got them to take the handcuffs off by saying, oh, I know how to play pool better than y'all. Now, I knew Bodie ain't know a goddamn thing about no damn pool. Why? Because Bodie is only 16. And the only thing Bodie know about is selling drugs. Bodie don't know a goddamn thing about playing no goddamn pool. But Herc falls for it. They take their handcuffs off and they play pool. And Herc is taking all his money. Finally, Transpo get there and they get the take his ass to juvie. Bubbles goes to see his little friend, the white boy. White boy is in hospice. Now, I'm not saying that the white boy is dying, but they had him housed in hospice. He got a whole colostomy bag now. He found out that he got HIV when he was in hospital. Bubbles tells him all about how he's working with the police to try and get back at the dudes that beat him up and put him, in the hospital or whatever. And the white boy says, Bubbles, that's not how the game goes. You taught me that. You're not supposed to work with the police. You taught me that. And so they go on and on about that. But Bubbles kind of knows that the white boy's right. Down back at Homicide, Sergeant Langford is gloating over the fact that he was right about that case with the girl that Bunk and McNulty had went and took, and that it is connected to Barksdale, and that's the right D. And so he's gloating. So anyway, he tells McNulty about that, and he also tells McNulty about the deal that he made with Major Rawls. Do your 2 weeks down there at the detail, come off of that, come, do your work, and then, you'll have a clean slate with the Major. McNulty hears him, but McNulty ain't listening. Let me say that again. He hears him, but he ain't listening. Why? Because the word ear is in the word hear, meaning anybody with a functional ear can hear, but everybody can't listen. Or everybody don't listen, I should say. Then we got Wallace, who's down at the low rises. Now he asked D, he said, listen, D, we over here hurting. Your boys ain't got no money. We've been good to you. We be down here working every day. You ain't never got you ain't been having no issues out of us, this, that, and the third. Can we get an advance until next Friday? So D remembered, Stringer told him, niggas who not snitching, that's what they're gonna do. They gonna come ask for money. So he's like, no problem. So he ends up giving Wallace the advance. We don't see it, but we find out he does give it to Wallace because he was like, okay, I know it's not you and Poop. Because Wallace asked for an advance for him and Poop. So McNulty and Bunk go and interview this chick that was friends with the girl who got shot. Chick tells them everything she knows about Avon. The fact that he owns a lot of property, this, that, and the third. The fact that he owns Orlando's strip club. And that, even though Orlando's name on it, all of that is just, smoke and mirrors. That's just a guise for the fact that he owns all of that stuff. A lot of property, warehouses, and he owns a lot of shit. Okay? Has a lot of assets. So McNulty and Daniels and Kima go down to the strip club. They don't go in, but they stay outside and, just surveil the place. And, they notice that, hey, they got, he said, who has cameras pointing away from the strip club? And, anybody who wants to know who's coming up in that bitch. That's who. Anyway, inside the strip club, Orlando talks to D for a little while, and Orlando thought that D was getting a percentage since he runs the low rises, but D was like, nah, I'm still on salary. I don't get a percentage. I just get my salary from my uncle. He was like, damn. He was like, your uncle kind of do me the same way too, because, I want a chance. I want a chance to, come up and, make some money of my own. There's enough money out here for all of us. And he even tells D about how his uncle Avon gave the other dude an opportunity. I forgot to mention earlier, Stringer and Avon had a conversation about taking over some guy named Scar's territory. And by doing that, they would need someone to run that area. And that person who would run it would get, not only the salary, but they would get a percentage of the cuts, which means a lot more money. Meaning, no matter how, if the trap is doing better, he's doing better. It wouldn't just be a salary. And that means that, you're moving up. You're really moving up in the ranks. So Orlando And so Avon and Stringer gave it to this other guy this other young guy that, they feel been working hard. And they tell the guy about it and tell him get his boys ready, that it's finna go down soon. So when Orlando tells D about this, D gets all upset at his feelings. He be like, damn, my uncle couldn't even do that for me. And that's my uncle. So he was kind of in his feelings. Then there's a whole skirmish down at the bar. Some man is accusing them for charging him too much money and said the girl sitting next to him stole a 20 from him. Now the girl sitting next to him is the same skank that D been trying to holler at for the last couple weeks. After they tossed the guy out, or as they're tossing the guy out, the girl said, fuck it, here's the 20 just to keep you quiet. And so when the guy is tossed out, D says, did you take that from him for real? She was like, no. But I didn't want no smoke, no beef, no nothing. And so he asks her out again. And she said, I don't usually date men that I meet up in here. And then when he walks away, she says, usually. So that means she's going to go with him and let him bust her down, I guess. Down to Omar's spot, the black guy is not there. Okay? So so Omar and boyfriend leave. Something is wrong, and Omar knows something is wrong because black dude normally is there on time, but black dude ain't there. And so the boyfriend says, "Are we gonna wait?" Omar was like, "Nah, we got to go do what we got to do," and they leave without him. I'm guessing they're going to do another heist. Down to the office though, Prez done figured out the pager codes. Prez done played this whole acted like it was one of those number puzzles or word puzzles and trying to figure out these codes. And he done figured out that the code simply is you just skip the number over 5. So wherever you are on the number pad, you skip over the 5. So if it's a 1 to skip over the 5, it would be a 9. Or if it was a 2 to skip over if you skip over the 5, it's an 8, and like that. And with the 0, you skip to the 5. That's how that works. And so they done figured out the whole, Prez done figured out the whole pager code that they have been trying to decipher all episode. Avon takes D'Angelo down to go visit one of their uncles or something like that. And D'Angelo's kind of apprehensive about it because, places like that, it looks like a place that might be hospice, or it's not a traditional hospital. It's for people who got a lot going on. And I'm not sure if it's hospice or someplace specialized for people with certain diseases or something like that. Anyway, I felt like D'Angelo was apprehensive, not just because of the place where they were, but also he wasn't feeling Avon talking to him about family this, family that, family this, family that. And he knew that Avon wasn't looking out for the family by giving that other guy a chance without giving him the chance first. And I can't say that I blame him. Anyway, Omar remember Kima and McNulty was staking out Omar to try and see if they could pick him up. Omar finally comes out with a boyfriend. They ride around. Omar goes into the cemetery. Kima says, do you think we should call for backup? And McNulty says, not yet. Omar leads them to the back of the cemetery, gets out, because he knows that they're following him. And he said, and basically he tells them, watching me for the last how many days. He also tells them about somebody named Bird or whatever, this, that, and the third. You might want to go check on him. And he was like, who's Bird? He was like, don't ask me. Ask your snitch. Bubs know who Bird is. Basically letting them know, yes, I know who your snitch is too. I'm always 3 to 5 steps ahead of y'all. So whenever y'all think y'all got it on me, I'm always ahead of the game. Because Kima even went to go check the van, which was clean. Ain't have nothing in it because he knew that they were going to follow him. They make a deal with him and say, listen, for some reason you do get, they do, take you down. You do get arrested. Hit us up. I'm McNulty. This Greg. Hit us up. We'll see what we can work out for you. You're like, bet. But I ain't no snitch. And so he tells them, I'm not going to snitch for y'all, but just know I see y'all before y'all see me. Freeman goes in to talk to Daniels. Now, this whole conversation between Freeman and Daniels was about, the fact that they had put in for wiretaps on the payphones or whatever, and they hadn't come in. But essentially what he was telling Daniels is this: you thinking you got all this juicy stuff down there with the deputy and stuff like that. Obviously, you ain't got too much, because we still wait over here for shit that we should have been had. And so Daniels just, wanted to have that candid conversation. I mean, Freeman wanted to have that candid conversation with Daniels about that. We'll see how that goes. Wallace and Poot are down to the corner store spending money now, because Wallace got that advance for him and Poot from D. Anyway, Poot says to Wallace, "Hey, that's that nigga, that's that dude." He was like, "What dude?" "That's that robbed us," you know what I'm saying? It's Omar's boyfriend. They leave, they go out to the payphone, they page D. D says, "Y'all hold tight. Make sure he don't leave." D pages Stringer. Stringer pages D and says, "Let them know to stay there. We'll be there. We'll take care of it." So they waiting and waiting. Poot want to leave. Wallace is like, "Nah, they told us don't leave. We're going to stay here." So remember all these numbers that got called. Wallace paged D. D paged Stringer. Stringer paged D back. All of this back and forward. All of this is being recorded by the cloning of the pages in the phones that the police station had already gotten. And at the end of the episode, Stringer calls D at the payphone and says, "We took care of it," meaning they got Omar's boyfriend and took care of him. And it goes off from there. So a lot of things that happen. They done got Omar's boyfriend and probably done killed him. The police done got all of these numbers. They got D'Angelo's page number. They also have Stringer Bell's page number now. And a whole lot of payphones and stuff that's being used, those numbers. And also, all of the little things at the end. The conversation Freeman had with Daniels. The missed conversation that D should have had with his uncle, because he's mad about not getting that territory from the guy Scar or whatever. And that's where it goes off. It's getting real good, y'all, because I don't listen. Well, I kind of know because I've seen it already. But think about it. Y'all know Omar ain't nothing to be fucked up with. When Omar finds out that they done got his boy, that's the whole episode, y'all. Listen, a lot of people have begun to comment on these reviews of The Wire. So many of y'all are getting into it, and I'm so glad that y'all are enjoying it with me and taking this ride with me. Feel free to add your own insight and commentary into the comment section. I love your comments in the comment section. Y'all know how I say all of the time. Let's get in the comments section and argue about what we saw or what we thought. Until next time, that's all I got. I'm out.